This is a Harper Guys production.
The Harper contains foul language and adult material. If you are easily offended and thin-skinned, you should hit the stop button now. And if you are not a complete idiot, let's get this party started.
Let's get down to brass tacks, gentlemen. If I was informed correctly, the clock is ticking. Is that right, Jimmy?
But good luck arguing that in court. Let me get down to brass tacks.
Listen, let's get down to brass tacks here. How much for the ape?
Jack, let's just cut the crap and get down to brass tacks here.
Are you hating on Neil Diamond?
Holy fuck! Fuck Neil Diamond!
Our dream of deathmatch is going to come to fruition, and my golden ticket is going to pay off. Hoo-ah! Don't you fucking hoo-ah me, motherfucker!
I want the ability to time travel.
This is stupid. Welcome to the Hopper, ladies and gentlemen. This is with Jake Wolf. With me, as always, my co-host, Adam.
That's right!
Scrambled my brains a little bit there. That was like, remember Back to the Future when he puts the headset on his dad? You know, when he's back in 1955? That was awesome.
Yeah, I blew Jake's eardrums, and I'm over here looking at the computer, and Jake is waving at me, and I totally missed it.
Oh, that was awesome.
He's telling me, it's too fucking loud!
But can you listen to Ethan Meeksel too loud? That's the question. All right.
You should have just went with it and just been like, I'm enjoying this. I'm not enjoying this. All right, PSA?
PSA.
Welcome to the number one common sense podcast in the world. Let's get ready to mumble episode. I didn't change it on this. Jesus Christ. Episode 116.
Boom.
Man, almost at 200.
Working our way up there.
Not really. Please visit us at theharperguys.com, where you can also find our Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube links. Yeah. You can also listen to us anywhere podcasts are found. Ideas, complaints, or just want to say what's up? Email us at theharperguys@gmail.com.
Boom, boom. Well, welcome aboard.
You know what? I've got an idea.
Let's do it.
Let's get down to brass tacks, gentlemen.
I like it.
All right. You know what? Harvey says, hit some quick hitters here. So I know last time we did some quick hitters, and I joked that it was going to be long and drawn up. These aren't going to be.
Okay.
These are actually quick hitters, unless you got something to start the show with.
Nope.
Okay. So recently, you hosted a poker night with the boys.
Yeah.
And it was pretty good. Did you have a good time?
I did. It's kind of becoming a semi-annual thing. We got together for my birthday back in July, and then
mine.
Our birthday. You know what I'm saying?
Listen to him. We did it for him.
I organized and hosted the entire thing. Like, it was for us. It was awesome. We took pictures. Do you have a good time?
Yes.
Right.
But then and Saturday.
Well, then Saturday, because my brother's birthday is almost exactly 6 months after mine. So it makes a nice July, January, twice a year thing that we're kind of starting to do. Same crew, which was cool that we got the whole crew back together. We weren't missing anybody. Well, we were missing Brian.
Other than some concentration, effort, I think, it's a good group to have together. Yes, and we did miss Bags. That was it.
Yeah. Like we got our Just Don't segment. That's my Just Don't. Is don't stop getting together with the boys.
Yeah.
If you're in your 40s, life is fucking life. Like we were talking about it before we came on air. Just there's so much shit going on to start this year, for both of us in our lives. But it's like you got to make that time, a couple times a year at least. Like make sure you're fucking pulling the boys back together. You never know when you're gonna need your boys. So you gotta stay to that shit. And
I was a huge advocate of that. In my early 20s, like we were all still getting together, but maybe mid 20s, we'll say mid to late. Cause I've been like, I see my friends occasionally. This is before kids, but I'm like, with the wife, would it be cool if I'd really like to do a poker thing? I've never played poker. I'd like to start playing poker. She's like, I don't care. And who's going to come over? So I had 6 people, 5 including myself. It's not that many.
Yeah.
Not that little, but not that many as well.
Yeah.
And then it turned into about 13 or more years, and you were involved at some point for a few years.
Bunch of years.
But that's where, for me, it was like, if I could see my friends, because it was once a month, theoretically once a month. We get together 12 times a year. That doesn't seem like a whole bunch, but it doesn't seem like all that little either.
You get in your 40s, though, once a month. Woo!
Yeah.
That gets hard.
That's a lot. I mean, and it was fun, and I don't know if we'll ever get to that level again, but right now, every 6 months, it doesn't look too bad.
Yeah, I'm not going to complain about it. What it makes me think, it was like, maybe the Shriners were onto something. It was always a joke when we were a kid, the Shriners and their little hats and their little fucking carts riding around. It's like, those are dudes hanging out with dudes, doing dude shit a couple times a year. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Anytime you want to go down to the club, So
I was showing the family some of the pictures from the next day.
Wow.
And
wasn't quite the hangover camera, but
no. And you had a picture of Bryant and I. We were the 2 winners, and only the reason why I was even a winner, even remotely, is because King Kong, the guy with all the chips, looked at me and says, "You want to split?" I was like, "Mama didn't raise no retard," right? So, anyways, we're holding all these dollar bills, literally dollar bills, because we had a lot of change. It was, we weren't playing for hundreds, we were playing for tens and stuff,
right,
5s and 10s. So my kids right away pointed out. My dad said, or my son said, "Don't post that. People will make fun of you." And I was like, well, I wasn't going to, but why? And he's like, because it's a bunch of ones. Get them all fanned out. It looked really cool, though.
It was fun.
It was fun.
We had a blast.
But, yeah, good time. Jake finally won a Screw Your Neighbor. And that's not like, that's a poker term.
That is a poker term. But did you even remember or
Yes.
notice what happened?
Yes, you actually kicked in a token for your brother and then still stayed alive at the very end, heads up, and won it. So that was your host moment. Did you understand that?
Oh yeah. That was my karma.
I did all this. I got paid.
Right. I did the right thing. You know. He was getting a little feisty. Because rules change. You guys know home games rules change a little bit. Group to group, location to location.
No, it wasn't about rules changing. He said we have never played it this way, and you said as straight as you and as sober as you could. We have always played it this way.
Well, but what I was trying to tell him was we have always played this way. If you go way back in the day, like the old school games.
I thought you meant like you and him.
No. He was right. The old school games, it was always you wanted low tickets. Low tickets were bomb.
Okay.
Right? But I explained it to him before we started, Brother
the
Bourbon.
The way you said it, and I was hearing it was like he never played it that way.
But I tried to remind him that the last time that we played here, 6 months ago, we played under those rules. But I don't think that his recall at that moment was probably as sharp as it would have needed to be to recall that specific game.
He was enjoying the bourbon a little bit.
Hey, as the birthday boy, I'm glad he did.
Hey, as a guy that didn't have to drive anywhere, get sloshed, brother.
Right.
Let's go.
Yeah.
All right, another quick hitter. Super Bowl, real quick. Pick
Kansas City.
all the way.
I'm not rooting for Kansas City. I'm rooting for the Niners. I think Kansas City wins it.
For me, it's if Debo plays, they win.
I don't know. I will tell you. I don't know if people listening remember the Indianapolis Colts teams that Peyton Manning had. Their defense would be suspect, middle of the road-ish all year long. There's something about Kansas City that mirrors that same thing. All of a sudden, the playoff starts. All of a sudden, this looks like a really decent defense. You know what I mean? Especially if Kansas City, if they go up 24-7, they aren't blowing that lead.
Boy,
and Andy Reid ain't giving that away. If he goes up by 17, that's a world of trouble.
What happened to Detroit, baby? Holy shit, they had that in their fucking hand.
I called it. As soon as they didn't kick the field goal, they're up 14 with 6 minutes to go in the third quarter. They decided to go for it on 4th and 5. As soon as it happened, I said it. I said, they don't get this, they're going to lose the game.
Well, they did that twice, where they should have got points. And that would have been 6 points. That could have been essentially the game.
I mean, you don't know how everything plays out.
Yeah, we don't know how their last drive would have been. But that could have been the last drive to win it.
But up 17 with 6 minutes to go in the third is up 3 scores.
Right.
I mean, that is a different The game plays different. San Francisco gets the ball, goes down, scores immediately. All of a sudden, you have a one-possession game instead of a two-possession game.
Yeah.
Just everything changed.
Well, the last time we recorded, the Browns were still in the playoffs, and that didn't go our way. So I just wanted to mention that real quick. I was completely wrong, obviously. Stroud played a great game, and they blew our doors off. And I'm not sure. My son seems to think, who is only 15, but he seems to think our team, the Browns, were looking past them. Could have been. I don't know.
I don't know. I think it was a combination of things. I think that they had a really, really good game plan for keeping Garrett off of Stroud. They did a really good job with that.
Why now? Here's a question I have. Why wouldn't you move Garrett to the left side?
The couple times that they did, it worked. But he doesn't play the left side. Like
you got to do what you got to do to win. And I tell you what, I've already forgot his name, but the defense coordinator,
Schwartz.
he didn't do a whole lot to mix things up.
No.
And I'll tell you what, some of our guys look flat. So, like Newsome, who has been great all year, he just was behind guys and trailing them and
not playing well.
No.
Your DBs didn't play well. 2 pick sixes were killers, man.
Yeah.
The one you were, at the 22-yard line when he threw that pick six and he took it all the way back? Like, those 2 plays are huge. I mean,
yeah, it was a 76-yard return.
That's what I'm saying.
How does that even happen? Everybody was on the other side.
Yeah, just when you jump a route like that, there's nobody between him and you. I mean, between him and the end
he
zone.
caught it on the left side, the camera angle left side, but there was a couple people speedsters that could catch him that were even close to him. Everybody else, they weren't even in the picture.
I don't care. I still think that it sets this team up well. If they can avoid the injuries next year, there's still a problem. But the league starts anew every year. I don't care what anybody says. I mean, you're going to get your Mahomes teams with Kansas City. I mean, they're not going anywhere.
No.
You know what I mean?
So real quick, Browns picked up Ken Dorsey. Thumbs up or thumbs down?
He's all right.
I don't really like the guy. Never have ever since the Buckeyes kicked his ass in 03 or whatever it was.
02. Yeah, right. He was the quarterback at Miami for the national championship game.
I guess it wasn't the ass kick. Yeah, he had a chance to win that game.
But he's turned into a really good offensive coordinator. We'll see how he does.
So, but the Bills, who were shaky when they fired him, then they fired him, and all of a sudden they made it in the playoffs, made a deep run.
Yeah, but I don't know. I feel like that if you go back and look, Buffalo had one of those schedules that, like, the middle of their season was like murderer's row of a schedule. Just absolutely fucking brutal. The back half of the season wasn't. I mean, the back half of the season was set up for them.
So you think if they didn't fire him, they'd have been all right? Mm-hmm. Okay. So you're saying Ken Dorsey may be all right.
Yeah, I mean, he needs his parts back. I mean, I think that one thing that you definitely saw in your Browns is you need another weapon wide receiver.
Yes.
Not an under guy.
Did you hear who they're talking about?
There's a lot of guys that they're talking about.
I know, but they're talking about
Higgins.
Yeah.
From Cincinnati.
Yeah.
Him and Ridley from Jacksonville are the 2 big names because they're going to be the 2 big free agents that are going to be able to be had. So we'll see.
Who's getting Marvelous Mav?
I'm praying that it's Chicago. It don't sound like it. The more and more you read, they're going to end up taking Caleb Williams, number 1. Fields is going to get traded to probably either New England or Atlanta.
Jesus Christ. All right.
It is what it is. But yeah, the Browns playoff was fun.
So your pick is KC?
I'm picking them to win. I'm rooting for the Niners, but if I have to pick a winner, I'm taking KC to win.
I'm only picking the Niners if Deebo Samuels plays.
He'll play.
He played, what, half a game?
I'm just saying, he's got 2 more weeks. That dude's playing.
All right. I don't know if you recognize my hat. Do you recognize this hat?
I was going to ask you what that hat was.
Because I wore this on poker night.
I know.
Schmucker, yeah.
Is it beer?
It is.
Okay.
This was compliments of Stefan from Germany. We talked about him earlier.
Auf dem Deutschland.
Yeah, and this was his beer. Mm-hmm. And we actually found it at, what's the weird supermarket around here?
The Grizzly?
No. It's in Fairlawn, but it's a German type store. It's got the quarter to get your freaking cart. Aldi. That's a German. So he found it in there. He did some when he was here, 18 years ago.
Yeah.
That's how long ago. He was looking for it, and he found it in Aldi, and it was a variety pack.
Yeah. Nice.
Schmucker. So I'm wearing the German hat for the second time in a week.
There we go.
And I'll put it away for a while.
Yeah. I'm still wearing my Kansas National Championship hat. I'll wear it for forever. Championships lives on.
And lastly, This is a quick hitter of all quick hitters. Favorite shoe brand? If you were going to the store right now to pick up a pair of shoes, and it didn't matter what style, you're just going to go get a pair of shoes. What would you get?
Not to run, just to walk around in.
Yeah, casual shoes.
I don't know what that means. Like tennis shoes? Casual shoes are like loafers, boat shoes. Those are casual shoes.
A pair of shoes that you would just wear
all the time.
Yeah.
Tie between Nike and Adidas. I like them basically equally.
You have to pick one.
If I have to pick one, Adidas.
Okay. I'm going Skechers. Just because I'm an old man now and I like the way Skechers fit.
At least you didn't say New Balance. Now, what I do love to do is I love to get a new pair of Brooks, which are like really, really good running shoes. And then when they've start to wear down a little bit to where like they start to hurt your feet to run, to wear those, I love Brooks as a regular pair of tennis shoes. They're so fucking comfortable because they're built for the beating that you take when you run.
Okay.
So I'm a huge fan.
Back in the day, I was a Converse guy back out of high school.
Yeah.
Had a lot of the different flavors and styles. Had a unique set that were my freshman year.
Yeah.
Back when you used to kind of like, I don't know, some people probably never worried about their first day of school outfit, but my freshman year, I was like, I planned it out. I had this yellow and teal tie-dye with some teal shorts, and I had found these Converse that actually they were the fold-up, like that you could make the boot out of them,
Mm-hmm.
and so they folded down, so they were the exact same colors. They were teal and yellow.
Yeah.
Horrible colors when you really think about it together, but this was just cool, and
Yeah.
but that was a long time ago, and
Yeah.
I don't regret it.
I don't blame you. Here's one for you, just if we're going to talk about old school shit like that. Did you ever have a starter jacket?
No.
No? I had one.
Had the members only jacket. I'm a little older than you.
Yeah, you are. I had a starter jacket. I had a Cavaliers one, the blue and orange Cavalier days. I had that. Josh had the Chicago Bulls one. Of course he did. And when I was at my mom and dad's a couple weeks ago, I found my sisters. They had a Miami Hurricanes one and a Charlotte Hornets one. So it's amazing, depending on like if you got one of and they're in really good shape. Like those things are actually worth quite a bit of money these days. I was shocked. You know, I don't know if they're going to make a real comeback, but somebody on the retro scene's into it apparently.
A starter jacket, huh?
Mm-hmm. All right.
So I have one new segment.
Yep.
What koozie am I going to use tonight for my Miller High Life? Everybody, Miller High Life. I'm not even going to hit a button. Here it is. The only championship in my lifetime.
Oh, yeah.
See if I can do this without spilling it.
There we go.
The koozies are for Sissies Championship bottle koozie.
Yeah.
It is the Finals 2016 NBA Championship. And if you don't remember, Cleveland was one Major League Baseball game away from winning 2 championships in one season.
One swing away.
Wow! Can you tell me?
One swing away.
Actually,
when they tied it at 6 in the 9th inning.
8.
Sorry, tied it at 8. There were 2 outs. And then Kipnis came up.
Yes.
Dude, the first pitch he saw was a red, dead fucking heater. And he missed it. He fucking missed it terribly.
No, you don't remember that at bat completely. He shot one home run depth.
That was the 0-1 pitch.
Right.
But the first pitch was a red, dead Aroldis Chapman, 98 miles an hour down the fucking pipe.
But he hit one foul that was home run length.
Right.
And 10 feet wide.
Mm-hmm.
That's the difference between being a legend and being a... Who was that number 22 guy?
Does that kill you a little bit to know that like there were 2 seasons in your lifetime that you were 1 inning away? I mean, the other one you had a lead.
Well, some people say 1 strike. The Indians were never 1 strike away.
I don't think that they were they?
No. It was like an out, maybe.
Yeah, that was rough.
Well, the 97 season, they went into extras. It was like 11 innings.
Oh, I remember it.
And then the 2016 was extras. And then we got the rain delayed. And then we got, who was that reliever? He came back. It was okay when he came back, but Brian something. God. I used to say we would get whatever his last name was. But anyways, let's move on here.
Well, hold on, though, real quick. Just to finish on this.
Sure.
Because of your koozie.
Yeah.
I don't know if you've been paying attention.
They're not too bad.
They're not just not too bad.
They're number 4.
But they're number 4. But, like, they didn't start off all that great. They started off, they were like 9-9 at one point, and, like, things weren't looking all that great.
So,
and then, like, dudes have been hurt.
Yeah.
Dude, I don't know. Did you see, like, they have been beating, like, very, very good teams, and,
No,
like,
I'm gonna
they
tell
are
you.
crushing it right now. If this team can stay healthy and keep this mojo going,
Well, and they just got Evan Mobley back from, like, or they're going to get him back. Or
he's back.
But
He played
he-
against the Clippers the other.
he-
The Clippers were, like, 20-4 in their last 20 games, and Cleveland beat them by 15.
He's been resting, obviously, so that's always good for an NBA body, right?
He's been hurt.
I know, but he's been resting, hurt.
Yeah.
But here's where I've been. Last year, just a quick recap, I watched game 1, and I watched, like, the first 10 games and I'm, this is how I think Jake and I both are. We're big into baseball, bigger into football. I'm probably a little bit more I'm probably more even with football and baseball. Jake's definitely bigger into football. But when he gets to basketball, we'll watch it when we can, but we're not going to sit there and watch every game.
Springtime's too busy.
Yeah. And, well, no, I'm talking about from now until.
That's what I'm saying. From now until it's over, like, this is, like, the
Well, no,
busiest time of the year for me.
But this is the connection point between baseball and football.
Yeah.
Obviously, the Super Bowl's in a week and a half or so. But anyways, so I'll start watching a little bit more basketball around now until baseball starts, and then I'll probably forget about it for a while. But yeah, I did check because I hadn't watched any games, hadn't even looked at the standings for the Cavs.
Yeah.
And then, I don't know, a week or two ago, I'm like, no, it was the day the Browns fucking got beat. I'm like, well, see what, and I'm like,
What are the Cavs doing?
and I'm like, oh well, they're not doing too bad. I watched
No.
I watched a couple games.
Yeah. They actually, you know how, like, your teams will get, like, role player guys that you kind of, like, you really dig those guys. Like, every team's got, like, their couple kind of bigger stars. Dude, do you know who George Niang is?
Niang.
Yeah.
No.
Dude, he's just came there this year. His nickname is the Minivan.
Came where?
Came to Cleveland.
Oh, okay.
Just got to Cleveland this year. His nickname is the Minivan. And it's because he looks like a dad. He's like, don't get me wrong, he's like 6'7", but, like, he's got, like, super dad bod, and, like, he's all hustle, all heart, and then, like, he drops threes and, like, talks mad shit while he does it. Like, I love this guy. Like, and I feel like every team has to have those couple guys that have an edge to them. You know what I mean? Even, like, Steph Curry, he's dropping threes, he's doing all the pretty shit, but he's got to have the Draymonds of the world. You know what I mean? Doing the dirty work, keeping
The
the
Kendrick
edge.
Perkins of the world.
Exactly. That's kind of what this guy is. And they've got a couple of them now. I kind of like what they're doing with this team. So I really hope that they're able to keep these guys together. I feel like if they get out of the first round this year, like, especially if they would somehow get to the conference finals at the least, I think that they keep everybody together. There's a lot of concern that you're going to end up losing your boy when it's all said and done.
I mean, he's amazing.
Donovan Mitchell.
Yeah, Donovan Mitchell is amazing. You cannot deny it. He is built like a tank, and he
Does it all.
He does. He's aggressive. He's confident. He's smooth as fucking silk. It's amazing to watch. But in the end of the day, he's only here for his contract, and then he'll probably be gone. So.
I don't know, man. I like that's what I'm saying. I think he wants to win a championship.
Right.
Like, he's that guy, and, like, he's secure financially. He doesn't care. He's said it more than once. Like, his goal in his career is he wants to win championships. So I feel like if he feels like the team's on the course for it, and it looks like they might be, So we'll see. But it's encouraging. I like seeing that you got the Cavs shit out because it is Cavs season, and your team's actually on the rise. If you'd asked me after 20 games, I'd be like, man, I don't know, dude. I don't know if it's going to work out this year, but this team's turning it on.
Yeah.
It's exciting.
All right, so let's get into Just Don't real quick here.
Do it.
So, just don't own a baseball team to get rich and bleed your city dry.
Yeah.
Paul Dolan,
Yeah.
do you have any more?
Just don't pass legislation to make yourself a sanctuary city and then expect everybody else to pay the fucking bill.
Who did that?
Who isn't? San Francisco, New York, Chicago, you name it.
All right. Just don't. Listen clearly. Ohioans. This is for Ohioans. Just don't. Vote for Matt Dolan. Last name sound familiar? Because he will get rich and bleed the state dry.
What's he running for?
Senate. Matt Dolan, the fucking brother of Paul Dolan. Paul Dolan, here's a funny thing. Gonna just do this real quick. Owner of the Indians will not get off his fucking wallet at all. Zero fucking anything. Has a manager now that he doesn't have to pay. Brand new. Who knows how that's gonna go. and I know I've said this on the show 1,000 times, and I'm going to keep saying it until it pierces somebody's eardrums. That's the right person's eardrums.
Yeah.
He is the fourth highest valued owner. $4 billion. That family and Paul Dolan.
Yeah.
$4 billion. At what point and he's air quotes, a hometown guy, a Clevelander. At what point do you pony up and make this shit happen?
Right.
Or at least try. At least try.
Sure.
The chances that you're going to win are slim anyways.
Yeah.
But go for it.
Yeah.
What is your legacy going to be? That you change their name?
Yeah. I don't disagree with you.
And then you got Matt Dolan. I'm going to tell you what. I saw this guy on the TV. He's walking down in Texas along the border. You can see the border wall. I'm like, I'm going to fucking vote for this guy. And then at some point, my circuit's connected, and I saw Matt Dolan, and I asked Google, quickly muted the TV and asked Google who Matt Dolan was. Or is he part of the Dolan idiots?
Yeah.
And yes. He is part of the Dolan family that owns the Indians. I think the Dolans own a basketball team too, or something. They own the Knicks.
I don't know. I'd have to look.
It's something retarded. Knicks aren't doing much either, if that's the case. So, anyways, those are my two just don'ts. Do you have any more?
Nope, I don't really have any. That was the only one. The only one I will say is just don't eat fucking fast food.
God.
Me and Josh had a big conversation about this the other day. I have not eaten classic fast food in it's like 3 years at this point. I can't do it. Like just the idea of it, like just makes me sick. And he was talking about it the other day.
That's not true. You and I picked up something on one of our hunting trips.
When?
Wendy's or something. That's classic fast food.
Was it Wendy's? You're right. I did eat it.
Or maybe Arby's.
So Arby's, I don't classify. Okay. Because like they make that's what I was saying. I think it was Arby's, right? That we went to the drive-through for.
Might have been.
Like that, I will do every great once in a while, but that's like super duper rare. But like they actually make their meat fresh. Yeah. And I'm not there for like shitty French fries. I get the applesauce for the side if I ever do that. That's what I'm talking like McDonald's, Burger King, Taco Bell. I don't eat any of that fucking shit. That shit will fucking kill you. Bigger than shit. Me and Josh were talking about it while we were watching the game. You know, he's like, "You hungry for something?" I'm like, "I'll make something." He was like, "Oh, I kind of had a hanker for Taco Bell." I'm like, "No, don't do it." And so I can't. So I know that probably sounds weak, and everybody loves their shit food, but especially for what it fucking costs these days. For $3 more, you can go to fucking Applebee's and at least get a fucking real burger and fucking fries.
I will hear to that. I mean, fucking shit, man. Everything is so goddamn fucking expensive. It's retarded.
Fucking out of control.
And it has to stop at some point. I know it probably won't, but it has to stop. At some point, people are going to quit going.
We'll find out in November.
What is November?
The election.
Oh, okay. Let's roll right into that. Nice segue. Next topic, early election update. I talked to you to find out this shit. That's why I'm bringing it up. So what is the word on the street? DeSantis. That's the only question I have. I heard he rolled over in front of Trump and, spread his legs and said, "Go for it, big boy."
Well, let me ask you that real quick. If DeSantis was still in and it came down to it, would you vote for him over Trump?
Maybe I would need more facts. I mean, here's the thing. When Trump was in office, I saw great things. Mm-hmm. The only bad thing I saw was in the media.
Yeah.
The media was trying to string him up from day one. We had this conversation in our last episode. 7 years of bullshit.
Yeah.
And it's still going on.
Yeah. Yeah. I was just curious. I mean, you don't have to.
So I would probably vote for Trump only because he didn't let us down last time. Fucking gas prices dropped. Food prices dropped. We were independent in oil. That's why gas prices fucking dropped.
Yep.
Plus my stepdad's in oil and gas, so here. Let's all for the Gipper. I mean, from what I recollected. And and here's the thing. I do have to say this because this is something that's been boiling over for me.
Okay.
Every politician segment that I've seen thus far is down in front of that fucking wall, looking at it, talking about it. Need to protect our borders.
It's the number one issue in this election.
The number one. And Trump tried to solve that starting 7 years ago. And there was so much opposition. And didn't he pay for most of it?
Do you want to get into that?
Well, you just give me a number. How much did he pay for? He paid for some of it on his own, didn't he?
Out of his own pocket?
Yeah.
No. But he pledged money to it from the
Okay.
defense fund.
Well, regardless, he pushed to get that fucking border secure. And there was so much pushback. You can't do that. There's families. And they were putting people in trucks and sending them back. And you can't. No, you can. You need to. And I don't mean that they shouldn't come over here.
Yeah.
But just do it the fucking right way.
So a little bit of background and then a little bit of knowledge about what's going on. So the United States and our laws, we take on 1 million legal immigrants a year.
Right.
1 million legal. More immigration than any other country in the planet by a fucking landslide, right? This year alone, we are going to be at about 3.5 million illegal immigrants, right? So there's a couple different things that are going on. There's a bill that the Senate passed. Thank God, in the last election that the Republicans overtook the House, because the House has killed this before it even gets to the floor. It's not even going to get to a vote. Dude, this fucking piece of legislation wants to allow 5,000 illegal immigrants a day. And then you start pushing back. That's 1.8 million people a year. That's illegals on top of the legals. I mean, you got situations where we talked about it last time. Children in schools are being forced to go home and learn from home again. We know what a fucking disaster that was during COVID, because they're making space in New York City for the illegal immigrants to stay in these fucking schools because they don't have any other place to put them. It's fucking crazy. So now the border is the number one hot button issue. Everybody's talking about the border finally, right? Biden. Go ahead.
Are you seeing that both sides are trying to get this wall built? Is that the thing now?
They act like they are.
Right.
Like everybody acts like they're pushing for it, right? Some people are. Some people really are. Like kudos, like I know that the world gets stuck on hashtags from time to time. Hashtag I stand with Texas. Fuck yes. Like, I'm so glad that they finally, and of course it's fucking Texas that finally has the balls. A little late, Abbott could have done this a few years ago, but it's fine. Like, I'm glad. I mean, a measure now is better than no measure at all, right?
Right.
Actively fighting the federal government. The federal government comes in and says, no, you can't do it. So now the federal government is imposing sanctions against Texas, against one of its own states. They cannot ship natural gas out of Texas right now because they won't remove the razor wire. This is the same fucking group of people that have funded border walls in Ukraine. That's fucking crazy. Did you know that there was $7 billion that was set aside to build that wall down south, right? When Biden took over, the wall wasn't completed, right? They ended up fire sailing shitloads of fucking material. How bad is it? Let me tell you how bad it was. One gleaming, for instance, in this, $4.4 million paid for this huge yard full of equipment, materials used to put for this wall.
A bunch of steel and other things.
Right, all kinds of stuff that's needed to build this wall, right? $4.4 million worth. What do you think it sold for?
You told me $400,000.
$108,000. A 96% markdown. That's your tax dollars basically wiping an ass with it, and then that's getting picked up by a corporation who's making fucking millions on it now. Like, this is the kind of shit. Biden comes out and fucking says, Congress needs to do the right thing and pass this legislation. No, it gives amnesty to fucking everybody that's already here. 5,000 a fucking day. If he would enforce the laws on the fucking books, we wouldn't have this problem. But they won't do it. They won't do it because it's part of their grand fucking plan. It's crazy to me what they're trying to actually fucking do. It's a whole globalistic fucking outlook. And I'm sorry, America isn't great because we have a globalistic fucking outlook. We're great because we're different than everybody else. Right. I mean, have you seen any of the shit going on in Canada? You can't even criticize the Canadian fucking government now without threat of going to jail for criticizing your own fucking government.
Wow, what's changed up there?
Fucking Trudeau, man. It's fucking crazy. This is the shit I'm talking about. So what's going on with the election? Biden's basically running unopposed. There's one guy that's running, but nobody...
Why is he running again? He can't even talk.
Well, they don't have any other options.
Have you seen this guy in the media?
But who else are you going to put in there?
I don't know because I don't pay attention. But he can't even put words together anymore.
I'm telling you, though, there's theories and then there's truth, right? The theory is this. Okay, if they pull him from the election, what are you going to put Kamala in there? That's never going to fucking work. Like the country is never going to vote for her. She is our border czar. What does that tell you about the job she would actually do as our president, right? Newsom from California, the whole world have seen that guy show his ass. There's no fucking way they're going to vote for that guy. So the prominent line of thinking is that come somewhere around May, once the primaries are all pretty much wound down, all of a sudden he doesn't feel like he's up to it. It's going to be somebody like Michelle that steps in. Somebody that they're all going to love. That she's one of us. We love her. We love her. We love her. She writes books.
Michelle who?
Obama.
Running for president?
I'm telling you. Because what do you think you basically get at that point?
Well,
you get 4 more years of Barack. And that dude would do anything to get back in there. It's so funny that people are like, Trump's going to be a dictator. Trump wasn't a dictator the first time. Trump wouldn't be a dictator the second time. Obama has openly said that he never wanted to leave office. That if there was a way that he could have had a proxy stand in, win an election, and him still control everything, he would have done it. Like, it's insane. But that's the general thinking. Because Biden is falling on his ass. Bidenomics isn't working. Like the amount of pushback that he's getting at this point, like these are like all-time low approval ratings for a president. Mm-hmm. But anybody that thinks that the Democrats are just going to roll over.
One of the greatest, most recent presidents to the... Now, it's not media's opinion. It's real approval to the... It's crazy.
Nikki Haley is staying in. So Trump still has one opposer. I don't know if you've seen anything about what's actually gone on with her campaign. What a fucking disaster. So in New Hampshire, right? Just about every other state in their primaries, if you're a registered Republican, you vote however you want, right? But it's for the Republicans to vote for their person, right? New Hampshire has an open primary to where everybody can vote in it, right? Dude, all of her votes are from independents and Democrats. Like, all of her big donors are Democrats. She's just part of the fucking machine. Like that, and that's what people are getting pissed off about. Like, she openly said last week that millennials and Gen Z better be prepared to be working past 70. Life expectancies have changed. You're not going to just quit working at 65. Oh, and by the way, you're also not going to have any fucking Social Security left for you when you get there, no matter what. It's fucking crazy. You know, like all of this shit it's a fucking disaster. I mean, Trump got fucking, he lost that civil suit last week. Have you seen any of this? I mean, it's one fucking disaster after another. He loses a civil suit, $83 million to this woman for sexual assault. She said that he said something to her, right? And they classified it as rape. And even Anderson Cooper, as left as it fucking gets on CNN, he was like, well, most people think of rape as like a violent sexual act. She's like, people think that rape is only like when you get thrown down and somebody rapes. She's like, this doesn't have to be the sexy version of rape. People just have fantasies and stuff that rape's a sexy thing. This is the lady that won the lawsuit that's saying this after she wins the lawsuit. She talks to her cats.
Because he said something to her?
Yeah. Yeah.
What did he say to her that was rape?
Don't know. That's the whole thing.
Still, I don't care what you say to somebody. Even if it's the nastiest, most sexual thing, it's not rape.
Right. I agree.
It's verbal abuse. We can go that. We can go that route.
Right. So, I don't know.
Sexual misconduct, maybe. I don't know.
But Trump, still his ever hilarious self, he was like, "Look at her. She's not my type. She wasn't then. She isn't now." It's like, no, she's not. I don't know. It's just one of these things. That's like
probably told her to suck my dick.
Right,
and that's rape.
But it's part of their agenda. I mean, you wait till you start seeing the ads. I'm telling you, they're fucking coming now. You know, how could you vote for somebody that's lost a case that says that they're a sexual deviant? Like, that shit's fucking coming.
They're doing everything, and they did it before. And guess what? It didn't work.
I mean, on some level, there's all kinds of crazy shit going on. A great big report just came out that there have been thousands and thousands and thousands of registered Republican voters that are now going back and checking their voting logs. Elections they never voted in, that it shows up that they voted Democrat. You know, I love that.
How do you check your voting logs?
You can get onto your voter registration and it'll show you what you voted for everything. And there's people that are getting on there like, I never participated in a midterm or any of these off elections. All I've ever voted for is presidential elections. And there's all kinds of shit. It's fucking disaster. There was I don't know if you've seen this yet. There was a professor, just a regular old engineering professor, in front of a judge in the middle of a federal district court. This ain't some made up thing in somebody's fucking basement. Took a Dominion voting machine, which is what we use across the country, hacked it in 4 minutes with a fucking ballpoint pen and changed the voting tabulations. This is our secure election. Fucking disaster, man. That's what I'm saying. I try to keep my head down and read this like once a week because it's so much and it's just so fucking infuriating. Like, why does it all have to be this big fucking power struggle, push-pull bullshit? You know what it comes down to? When it comes down to all of the political fucking issues in this country, it comes down to 2 fucking things. Guns and abortion. And there is nothing that the left won't fucking vote for as long as they feel like those people are on their sides when it comes to trying to ban guns and have abortions for everyone. And it's like at some point we have to agree that we're just not going to agree on these 2 issues. That said, the rest of this shit, get the fuck awake. Like, and it kills me because I'm telling you, at some point, the Democrats are going to be like, oh my God, instead of being on our side, which is what they pretended all these years so they would get all of our votes, now it's this big fucking globalist agenda where they get left behind too, and they're going to be like, what, and it's going to be too fucking late. I mean, the Squad, I'm sure you've heard of the Squad, AOC, and all those. You hardly see it on any of the other major networks other than Fox. The one being investigated right now, stealing taxpayer dollars to pay her husband and his private security company, and he was never fucking on scene. Just fucking living off the fucking dole, man. This shit all the fucking time. Fucking Rep Omar gets up in front of a crowd the other day. She says, first I'm Somali, second I'm Palestinian. Bitch, you are American. You are a fucking American representative. You are a fucking American first. That's the fucking thing, dude. Nothing's America first anymore. Everybody that comes to this fucking country now is waving a different fucking flag. Nobody gets here and they're like, holy shit, I love this fucking place. Let me put an American flag in my yard. Drive down the fucking roads, man. You know? In our little towns, sure. Dude, you drive around, go to any kind of a fucking city, all you see are fucking different flags. You know? Like, how about you fucking fly the stars and stripes a little bit, you know? Have a little bit of fucking pride in where you're at if you don't want to be here. I mean, I've never heard so many people bitch about a fucking place that they refuse to fucking leave. It's fucking uncanny. Anyway, I digress. So the election's going to be a fucking joke. Basically, the only way they're going to stop Trump is if they're legally able to fucking get him cock blocked. If not, it's going to be the fucking one-on-one. Same shit again this fall. Sorry to go fucking postpone the whole thing.
All right, so in the same realm, but different topic, term limits. Did those officially get changed?
The votes has not happened yet. There's a lot of discussion about it, but it hasn't happened yet.
Now, that's for the House and Senate, right?
Yeah, well, they're trying to get the House and the Senate done first, and then it would be a separate bill to where, and there's a lot of pushback on both sides of this, is trying to include the Supreme Court in it. Basically, you shouldn't be able to sit on the Supreme Court for 48 years.
Right. Amen. Yeah.
Yeah. But the problem with it, like the thing about the Supreme Court that they've always tried to do is they've tried to keep it intact with the people that they are to create that longevity. I mean, the idea behind the Supreme Court didn't used to be weaponized. It used to be the idea that these are people that know the most shit about our laws and are going to enforce them correctly.
Right.
You know, to where turning it over all the time. I mean, look what happens with fucking turnover in Congress. We can't get a fucking thing done, you know?
Okay, so it is my belief, my narrow-minded and somewhat open opinion at times, belief that lobbyists are one of the main reasons our government and shit is corrupt. I don't know if you would disagree or agree, but I believe that lobbyists are the people in the back always pulling the strings. That's my belief, and I'll probably believe that till the day I die.
Of course it is.
Will they ever illegalize that?
Probably not. And it fucking comes from all over. You know who Kari Lake is? She ran a really close governor's race in Arizona. Again, people wonder about the legitimacy of it. She was crushing it, and then all of a sudden, out of nowhere, all these fucking boxed ballots come out, and she ends up fucking losing by a couple hundred votes. They just released footage of last week. The guy that runs the Republican Party for Arizona basically asking her to not run for Senate and saying that there were basically big powers at play that are willing to set her up with any job she wants to get her out of the way. And this isn't me projecting something. This isn't me making shit up. You can go online right now and fucking listen to it. They released it last week. It's like the corruption has no fucking bounds. And I'm not ever going to say, it's only one side,
No, but what I'm saying is
they'll never get rid of it because so many people go to Washington and become fucking millionaires while they're there. They're never going to fucking outlaw it. The only way it ever happens is if you get people, if you can elect enough people to Congress that actually believe that they're there to serve the fucking people and not themselves.
Well, that's where I'm getting at with the term limits. So to me, I know that what would the term limits be? 12 years?
It depends on which position. So what the discussion is right now is if you are a senator, you have a 6-year term, right? If you're in the House, you have a 2-year term. So what they're floating is up to 5 2-year terms as a representative, so that's up to 10 years as a rep, and up to 3 terms as a senator. That's 18 fucking years as a senator.
Should only be 2.
But
man.
even at that,
give him 12.
But even 18, whatever. If you really got a guy that you love in your state, fuck it, I don't care. 18's not that bad. There are people in Congress right now that have been there for 40 fucking years.
Right.
That's fucking crazy.
That's not good.
That's a career. Fucking career. You weren't a civil servant. You chose a career path that was politician. That's not how we were fucking supposed to be built.
No, and that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Term limits will help, but that's still a lot. 18 years.
It's better than what we have now.
Right. No, I mean, I take it. You got baby steps, right? So is that going to happen?
We don't know. It's supposed to be one of the promises. So Speaker of the House Johnson, right? The guy that's in there for right now, right? That's one of his things that he pledged he was going to do. We'll see how long it takes. So I'm not sure.
Okay, I don't know what that noise was.
I don't either. Are we still recording?
It looks like it might have been a computer.
We don't edit shit around here.
It might have been a computer noise.
Right. We don't even know if y'all heard it.
It went kabing. Yeah.
It was behind the scenes.
Oh. It's because the battery of the laptop is about to die.
Is it really? Is it plugged in?
Because I didn't plug it in.
Wow. Well, I'm glad I could take a moment and just kind of take center stage here. I feel like I'm just talking over you anyway, and I apologize for that. You know?
And we're okay.
All right.
Hey, so the next time somebody hears that on the show, they'll be like, your battery. But then they'll realize that it was recorded
Yeah, that's okay.
a couple days later.
I'm sure somebody knew that sound when they heard it.
Last time I didn't release the show until like a week later. This one will be more apropos.
Okay, cool. So no term limits yet, but we're hoping.
And we're not going to illegalize the lobbyists, unfortunately.
It doesn't sound like it.
I wonder why. Because they just keep. Do you really want to get rid of us? I've got $5 million for you.
The thing that's funny is the people that are pushing for it are like not long term. Like they're not long tenured. That's one of the things I find super interesting.
Yeah.
That it's the younger generation of representatives that are in there right now. So
Okay.
Good stuff.
So, next, these motherfuckers. So I'm 48, going to be 49 this year. Since I had perfect vision from birth to 42. I mean, looking at something, I can, working on something, whatever it was, perfect vision. Blessed, in my opinion. Blessed. No glasses. Now, right now, I can see just fairly, pretty good far.
Yeah.
But close up, I need my readers.
Sure.
A lot of people my age happens to. Really, really, really haven't looked into it, but I want to go and check out the Lasik eye surgery. Guy that I worked with at Roar for a very short time, David Geringer, he had it done at, I don't know, about my age now, and crystal clear. Like, he's like, you need to go do it. This is the best thing you'll ever do. And it may be expensive. I don't know if you've ever looked into it.
I have not.
I imagine it's probably around the, I don't know, $5,000 to $10,000 range, something in that.
Don't know.
But can you really put a price on vision? I don't know.
No, I've often said, I mean, we've talked about this, I think, on the show one time. I think we talked about this once. You take your 5 senses, right? It would be the last one I give up. I'd give up everything else first.
But I mean,
if I still got my faculties.
You wear glasses. Do you ever think about going and getting your eyes fixed?
But my glasses are like, I get made fun of because like you can buy reading glasses that are way stronger. Like I barely have a prescription. The only time I have them on is if I have to read.
Right.
Like ever. Like I don't wear them when I drive at night. I don't wear them when I hunt. I don't wear them when I watch TV. I don't wear them ever unless I'm doing shit like this.
Right. I have to wear mine when I'm working at the computer.
Yeah, that's when I have to wear mine. That's
Right.
what started it. Without it, I've been blessed. My vision has always been great, but that also makes me nervous to have something like LASIK done. I don't want somebody fucking with my eyes. Like if something goes wrong, I'll be real sad that I gave up my little tiny nothing prescription to not be able to fucking see colors right anymore.
Yeah, I'm on the other side. I'm ready to be fixed. Like looking at this paper right now, I can see the lines, but I gotta really focus, and I might get some shit wrong.
Really?
But I mean, I can read it, but it's pretty fucked up.
Yeah.
These readers are like 1.75s. It's not a 2.5, but it's still something that I need.
No, my prescriptions are 0.5 on one side and 0.75 on the other.
Yeah.
But they do help to where I'm not straining, I'm not squinting when I'm looking at my computer screen. So,
Right.
But no, for
Now,
me,
so
for me,
you haven't. So I was gonna ask you cons because I know what the pros are. You can see great. I think David even got real fucking lucky. He was telling me that they asked him. Now this is something you would never do. They asked him like, "Would you be willing to participate in a free trial?" And he's like, "What?" And they're like, "Well, we're gonna put some chips in your eyes." And he said, he's like, it's so fucking amazing. And when you look at his eyes, you can see little like microchips and like in front of his pupils. But he said his vision is look at your face. But he said
no fucking chance, dog.
But he said his vision is like freaking like he can see, the balls of a
I
fucking
will
gnat.
never be chipped in any fucking way, shape, or fucking form.
So if you went in for like a LASIK consultation and they were like, "Woo, hey, congratulations, you've been set up for a," you'd be like, "Fuck off."
I would walk out.
So yeah, he said it saved him like about $6,000
I don't give a fuck.
per eye.
Right.
No good.
No fucking
No
way.
experimental.
Right. Somebody's sitting behind a computer screen watching everything he fucking sees all day long.
Oh, you think? Yeah.
I don't need that in my life, dog.
You think that somebody's got his eyes?
Your phone listens to everything you fucking say. You think the computer chips in your eyes, they can't see what the fuck's going on?
Well, how do they charge them?
Well, right. You got to get them fucking switched out every couple years?
So, you would never be. I mean, I know you said
No.
your eyes aren't that great.
My eyes are amazing.
I'm sorry, your eyes aren't that bad,
Yeah.
but there's still where you need to wear glasses.
Only when I read like shit like
Well,
this. But dude, I can see forever away. Like it's so like people like get annoyed. Like if we're driving, I'll be like, "Oh look, we're only 41 miles from Charleston." They'll be like, "How the fuck can you see that up there?" I'm like, "I don't know, because I can see."
Right. That's how I was always.
Right. I'm just not there yet.
Okay.
Like I'm not to a point where I feel like do that. But no, a chip would be a fucking zero-sum game
Okay,
for
well-
anything ever. They're talking about putting chips in your arm for like your insurance information and shit. So like, say you're in a fucking car accident, you go in there like, "Oh, he's fucking diabetic. Oh, and he's allergic to penicillin." And fuck you.
All right, I would never be okay for a chip. Now, give me a tattoo on the back of the neck. Yeah. Barcode be fine. I don't care. But no chips. I agree.
Fuck no, dude. No.
No
fuck all that.
barcode?
Fuck that shit. No fucking way. I'm not going across the fucking scanner at a grocery store, bro. I don't need this shit in my life. I'm a person, not a fucking cog.
All right. Here we go.
Fucking LASIK.
I'm getting the fucking LASIK.
All right, bro.
And I'm not going to be wearing these fucking glasses anymore.
Can't wait to meet your seeing eye dog. He's gonna be special.
Electric bikes.
Yeah.
What do you think about these fucking
Yeah. I want one so bad.
things? Why?
I want one for the property.
Okay. Yeah. I've heard a lot of hunters use them.
Yeah, because they're like super stealthy. So like, what you do is you
Are
actually
you
take the
talking
time.
for
Yeah.
the hunt?
Oh, fuck yeah. Like some of the most successful guys out there now. So like we've talked about, like you don't want to go in certain areas, certain times because you don't want to push all the game out. It's like instead of all of the mowing that we do, you take a little bit of time, make sure that your logging roads are pretty clear. You can go fucking silently through the fucking woods.
Or what
super
if you
fucking
like
quick.
prepared bike trails instead?
Right, both. You still got to get the player sending out.
Polaris is going in and out regardless.
That's what I'm saying. But yeah, I would fucking. But like, I think it would be that much easier because we could actually make trails.
That's what I mean.
To the different tree stands. Yeah, dude.
Boy, talk
Fuck
about
yeah,
it.
dude.
Now,
I want an
those-
electric bike back.
Okay, now I'm not talking about electric bike for hunting. I'm talking about electric bikes in general.
I'm down.
You like them.
Yeah.
See, I'm on the fence for one reason. Don't get me wrong. They look cool, and a couple of my neighbors have them, and they're flying up to the road with them. But it does kind of defeat the purpose of the bike.
You can still pedal your ass around and have fun doing it.
Do you remember the mopeds that you could still pedal? Now, these aren't the same because those old mopeds were fucking heavy.
Bro, I would ride a fucking moped. I don't give a fuck.
I'm talking about pedaling them. You wouldn't want to be pedaling your electric bike. You probably can, and it probably works pretty good.
Yeah.
But if you have the electric bike, you're not going to want to pedaling it. I mean, it kind of defeats the purpose of the bike. Now, if you're using it, some people will use this as for their commute, depending on the weather, of course. But like one of our neighbors, a young gal, she actually uses her electric bike to go to work like because she works in town,
I would never do that.
and so that's something.
I would never use an electric bike on a regular road or a sidewalk.
Well, she also does
I
not
would
own a
never-
car, so that's like her transportation.
No, I would be more about like, so they have ones now that like when you do pedal them, like it gets that energy back up in the bike. It's like a little generator in there, right? So when you're wanting to go on this 20-mile trail ride, right, that's got these ginormous fucking hills, oh, now we're going back down, fucking pedal your shit to get it fucking going again. I mean, there is some balance to it. It's almost like a hybrid if you want to count you and
Yeah.
the battery that's on there kind of working in conjunction together. To me, that would be the fun of it. You know what I mean? Like that would be the joy of it, because instead of doing 3
So
miles on a
you say-
trail
you're
and your
saying it's
ass is
like-
fucking killing you.
You're saying it's like assist,
Yeah. Because, I mean,
so that way you don't bust your balls going up all these huge hills.
yeah, I mean, you can just sit with your feet on pegs and get your 8 miles out of it or whatever you can get. And like, that's all you're going to get. But if you want to go on like a big, fat, long ride, fuck yeah, dude.
Okay. Well, I don't know a whole lot about them, but that sounds pretty cool.
Yeah. I'm huge fan. I think it would be awesome to have one. I've
The
actually
only
looked at
thing
them.
you're not
expensive.
I was gonna say the only thing you're not a fan is they're about $2,000 or lower.
Prices are coming down. You know, you can find a decent one for $1,000 now, you know?
Well, I think that has been around for a little while.
Yeah.
I mean, there's the Cadillacs are going to be pretty expensive, but
Yeah.
I mean, I think they've been around $1,000 or less, maybe 800,
Yeah.
maybe 850.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I don't know. That's a big investment for hunters, though.
Yeah. I saw a hilarious video the other day around this that you would have loved. There's a brand called Lectric, right? No E at the beginning. It's just called Lectric, right? So this fucking guy's out on the street, you know, one of those like, oh, he doesn't know that the camera's fucking filming, you know what I mean? And he fucking stops this guy on a bike, an older guy. He goes, man, he's like, I really like the electric. He goes, yeah. He goes, man, I like the look in the. It's like, does it have good feel? Oh yeah, I love it. What brand is it? Lectric. No. I know it's electric, but who makes it? Like, what brand is it? It's electric. Yeah, I got it. It's electric. I'm looking at getting an electric bike. What brand? Dude, this goes on for like 3 minutes. This old guy's like, are you slow? Are you actually slow? Like, I don't know. I guess if you see it, it's pretty funny, but
Maybe he was tired and cranky.
yeah, I would totally do that. I
Didn't
mean,
feel like wrestling.
Would you ride one? Would you get one to cruise around the hood?
I like a pedal bike. I mean, now, if I was, I don't know. I'm just old school. I've had a bike since I was like 8 years old or well, probably 6 years old.
Sure.
And me and Baker rode the fucking tires off of them. And
We all did.
And I mean, I can't imagine how many hours I have had on a pedal bike.
Same.
It would be a bunch. So I'm a little bit old school in the fact that I like them. I think it would be cool to have one, but would I still have a traditional one? Probably.
Okay. I think real quick that traditional one would become a nostalgic piece more than
Maybe.
anything else, though.
It might.
You know?
I mean, don't get me wrong. I just think that there's so much good exercise in pedaling your bike around that if that's why I'm riding my bike, which was not always the case, you know, I take the kids on bike rides and things like that. I'm not doing that for exercise, even though maybe in the back of my mind I'm like, hey, this is helping out. But, you know, I don't know. I do like them. I think they're cool. But, yeah, maybe the price tag is why I'm still like,
Right?
you know.
Yeah. Yeah, for me, I would like to get one at some point, but I just don't know when.
So if you did get one, obviously we know you would use it for hunting. Would you still have it at home for riding around the neighborhood?
Yeah. But only to a certain extent. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not trying to take that on, like, major roads and shit like that.
Right.
Like, we talk about this all the time. I'm not trying to beat a dead conversation, but, like, there's so many people on their phones while they're driving all the time. The idea of me being on anything with 2 wheels, anywhere, things that have 4 wheels, isn't exciting to me.
No.
I don't care what it is. To me, the craziest fucking last daredevils on earth are the fucking guys that are still riding motorcycles around fucking highways.
God.
That is fucking balls. I don't care how you fucking frame it. It still takes balls these days. No, if you have conscious thought about the fact that how many fucking people are fucking driving like this the whole fucking time, you know, no fucking way.
That's a great point. And, you know, I might have to bring that up to my boss because he's a little bit younger than me. And he just said to me today, we had a phone call, and he's like, I'm thinking about getting a bike and yada, yada. And I'm like, oh, that's cool. He's like, well, I'm out in the country, so, I just want to ride some back roads and stuff. That's probably worse, right? Because in the back roads, you're definitely not looking at the road.
Yeah,
I'm gonna have to warn him. I'm gonna have to tell him a little warning. He's like, he goes, oh, I was about to tell him something, and he goes, oh, I thought you were gonna tell me a bunch of horror stories. I'm like, I've got some, but I wasn't going to tell you that.
Bad ones, man.
I mean,
I'm saying no thanks. Sorry, I can't do it.
I know 3 people that have died on motorcycles.
Yep. I lost a brother and a good friend of mine. So, nope, never. I mean, me and Josh almost came to blows. He was going to buy one, and I fucking stroked the fuck out on him. Like, it was a whole thing. Like, that's one of those, sometimes you gotta be a little bit of an asshole to take care of the people you love, you know? Yeah. So, yeah. Sorry. I'm not advocating for I mean, the guy that we went to the calling hours together for. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Rode thousands and thousands and thousands of miles. It only takes one day, 30 seconds, everything goes wrong. You know?
Yep.
It's fucking terrible.
It is. It is. And most of the people that, unfortunately, that perish are good riders, and it's just a bad, in the wrong place.
Especially, but I would say even more with motorcycle riders. I mean, I don't know if you've
That's
ever.
what I mean.
You ever talked to anybody that rides a motorcycle? How often this shit happens? People
Right.
don't see them, pull out right in front of them, merge into their fucking lane.
That's what I said to my boss. I said, man,
Yeah.
you might want to get a bright yellow bike. And he's like, well, yeah, there are people that wear those high reflective. I'm like, you might want to, like, flashing neon so people can see you.
Have you? I don't know if you've seen. There's a company in, is it China or Japan, that now makes it looks like traditional bike leather, but like it's like hyper duper reactive. Have you seen these things?
No.
That like if you get hit and you roll on it, puffball instantaneously.
Oh, you mean if you fall, crash?
Yeah, like if you get fucking mollywopped and this thing fucking, you fucking, but it takes something crazy like 45 seconds to like deflate to where if you hit and you're fucking rolling, it sucks, but like at least you got a fucking chance. Yeah. Dude, it's fucking terrible.
Is it worth that, right? That's what you're saying.
That's what I'm saying. Is it worth it for
that?
whatever that thrill is? You know, you'd be better off, like no bullshit. You'd be better off to get into some kind of like dirt bike racing or something like that. Like at least get yourself on a closed track.
Right.
You know, it's just not my jam. Couldn't do it.
I've never ridden bikes. I mean, I've ridden plenty of 4-wheelers and 3-wheelers and things like that, but I've never really ridden the the motorcycle.
Yeah.
And I'm sure there's an allure. I'm sure if I did it and got used to it, I'd probably be, fuck yeah, but
Yeah.
just not there.
Yeah.
All right.
I got one more topic. Can I interject a topic?
I've got a topic
Okay.
left, but yes, interject.
Can I interject one before you do your last one?
Absolutely.
Okay. So we talk all the time. Look, we're both wearing glasses now. You go back to episode 1 with recording, we weren't wearing fucking glasses. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like the years have started to come on a little bit. We're in our mid 40s, We've talked about this. I think we talked about it just a little bit on the last show, but I just wanted to expand on it a smidgen. That I've been using a sauna and a cold plunge.
I don't think you've brought that on the show at
Did
all.
we not talk about that
This
last
is
time?
the plunge for the cold plunge. Let's
Okay,
go.
all right, here we go. So it was one of those, like, I was watching a podcast, you know what I mean? And then I was like, fuck it. I bought a couple $100 sauna off of Amazon, like you got to put the water in, it boils it, puts the steam in, works great. I really enjoy it. And then like not long after that, I was like, okay, so then if you can cold plunge with your sauna, like that's such like a big thing. So like I'm like, okay, fucking getting cold water, that sounds fucking terrible, So I start doing some reading, and I'm like, okay, not too bad. Like this sounds like there's some real positive things that go with it, like
Some benefits.
yeah, it'll keep, like you can go run fucking 10 miles if you want to. That will do less for your metabolism than getting in a cold plunge for 3 minutes. Like, because your body has to react to it. There's an enzyme that gets pushed out of your liver. Anyway, so I've been getting into it more and more. I really enjoy it. I like the way that it makes me feel. When you get out of the cold plunge, like you got to obviously like dry off, get changed. You know what I mean? I'm going to tell you what, dude, that first hour is weird. Like you talk about a level of like hyper focus. It's just like, you feel like you have energy, but you're not like scattered energy. It's just like the amount of shit that I can get done in an hour after that is crazy. They're finding that it helps with like anxiety, depression, like big time, because like it's kicking your metabolism up. And a lot of like those kind of things, they always relate back to
So are we fanboying the cold plunge right now?
huge fanboy in the cold plunge. And like, so like you get online, it's almost like the electric bikes, dude. To get a decent like cold plunge that actually has like the filter unit with
You
it.
bought a nice one.
No, let me tell you. So in order to
I
get,
remember it was a open box or something, but it's still a nice one.
sort of, but let me tell you, like there's a difference between it and, so if you go online, just search cold plunges, right? What you're going to find is that those cold plunges, like there's like a unit that comes with them. It's like a refrigerator unit, right? Always has the pump going. So you set what you want your thing to be set at, right? They're basically like a chest freezer, right? That you take the lid off, you get into. I'm looking at these. They're like $1,000, $1,500, $2,500 for like the really good ones. So what I did
You
was
bought the sauna.
I bought the sauna separately. So the sauna is like a tent.
Oh no, not
that
the
you get
sauna.
into.
The I'm trying to remember the name. The hot tub.
Yes. So
The inflatable hot tub.
I bought a 2-person inflatable hot tub. And so it comes with the filter, like it has like the filter unit that comes with it. You can turn the heat setting off on it. And then I bought that little $30 chest freezer.
Yeah, and you're throwing
I'm throwing
milk jugs.
milk jugs of ice in there and 20-ounce bottles of water.
Yeah.
Like, so all told, I've got 12 jugs and 40 bottles of water.
So did you hear that? What he's doing? He's recycling his ice.
Yeah, over and over and over and over again. Like, and it works great to where, and people are
It's
like,
actually fucking genius if you're gonna do it.
Yeah.
Because you're not expending any other resources other than your freezer electricity.
yes. Now, like you go in like some of the hardcore people, like the people try to push everything to the 12th degree. If you have your water anywhere from 48 to 58 degrees, don't get me wrong, 48 ain't hot, right? But like it ain't 32. Like I've been down in the 30s. The new 30s is fucking cold. I don't give a fuck who you are. I don't care how often you do it. It's still like it takes some fucking fortitude to fucking stay in that thing after about the first 45 seconds.
So where do you like the temperature to be?
I like mine between about 45 and 52. If it's anywhere in that range, I don't.
And how
fuck
long
with it.
do you stay in the water?
So you start off low. I mean, you don't want to start off like, can I freeze myself to
no,
death?
where are you at now?
So
You've been doing it.
6 months in, I go about 10 minutes.
Okay, so not real long.
No, and within about 30 seconds, you can feel
how-
yourself. You can feel yourself normalized
The
to
first couple weeks, how long were you staying in it?
The very first one I did was like a minute and a half.
Oh, really quick.
Within a week, I was at like 3 minutes.
So it takes a while.
Well, it's up to you. I mean, it's up to you what you want to stand. But like,
But I'm sure you were staying in as long as you could.
no, but I didn't. It wasn't like will is a very powerful thing. If you told me I had to go sit in that thing for an hour, or you're going to cut my hand off, I'm gonna go sit in the thing for an hour.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, I feel like there's a mental game that you have to play with it, no matter what. You know?
So why were you only sitting in a minute and a half right away? Just because you were not sure what you were doing?
Well, I wasn't sure what I was doing, but like I also like they tell you like you don't want to like freak your body the fuck out.
Right.
Like it's like a progress. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like to get to the point where you're doing it all the time.
Right.
But like I don't know. I'm a huge fan. I feel so much better. You know what I mean? I mean, yeah, does not drinking have something to do with that? Probably. But like even after Saturday night, you know, I had some bourbon on Saturday night. I didn't overdo it. I mean, I thought you would be a little bit proud of me. Like, how often do you see me not get fucking schnookered?
I was.
Like those days are kind of gone. I can't do it anymore.
When you threw out the rule that if you look at your phone, you have to do a shot, I'm like, we're all fucked.
Right.
But no, you were in control.
Yeah. So it's just like anything else. You control it. And I really enjoyed it. I think that it's something that you need to try. It gets you out of your comfort zone a little bit. There's actually businesses that are starting to do this now to where you can pay so much a month. It's just like tanning was huge for all of these years and still is. But like you can go in and you can sauna, you can cold plunge, whatever you're going to do, you know. But to wrap all this together, listen to a really good podcast with an actual doctor, you know. And this is actually the guy. Have you seen Dana White of the UFC in the last like year?
No.
That dude went from like super dad bod to fucking rip shredded. Like he don't even look like the same person other than like his head is still bald. I mean, he just fucking abs for fucking days. And this guy was like poochy. You know what I mean? He was still big because he still lifted and stuff. Dude, like it's the guy that his company like basically was like, these are the things that you need to be doing. Fuck what you were taught. Like there's a bunch of this stuff. But he went on to basically say, if you can sauna 20 minutes, 4 days a week, right? If you can cold plunge 11 minutes total a week. Like you don't have to go crazy. You know, you can do 3 threes and a 2. You can do 2 5.5s if that's what you want to do. And then do cardio 20 minutes 4 times a week. I mean, we're not talking about that much of your life. We're talking about it's like 100 minutes, give or take total. Your all types mortality chances drop like 70 fucking percent. Mm-hmm. It's just so much better for you. Like your skin, your mind, like all of your processes, you know?
Yeah.
So I'm just saying, like, for any of you guys that are getting into your 40s, like some of this stuff, I recommend you start doing.
Sure.
You know what I mean? There's some really good stuff out there about like, and I'm not saying add everything at once. Like we're all bad about that. You know what I mean? Like I'm going to get healthy. I'm going to do all 9 of these things at one time.
I'm going to get my gym. I'm going to get my hot tub, my cold plunge. No. Yeah. So I've always been a big proponent of, you know, being active.
Yeah.
And I don't. Obviously, I have a lot of fluctuations where I get in the fuck it mode for a few months, and then all of a sudden I'm like, okay, got to get back at it. But I'm in the mode now. I'm not doing any cold plunges, and I'm not doing any saunas. Now, I would love to get a sauna, though. I'm not really into the cold plunges.
Nobody is. I mean, I don't care what
But
anybody
now,
fucking
I
says.
would love to go in and sweat it out in the sauna for a little bit, but I don't know. I mean, there's a lot of, even you and I talked about like bacteria and stuff. You got to make sure you keep that shit clean.
Sure.
And I'm not saying that I wouldn't, but I just don't know. But what I am getting into this year that I started, that I want to get into, and we've talked about this on past shows, and I've been there, and then something happens in life where I stop for a little bit. But the whole thing is about getting more habitual about working out. And I don't mean about the 4 hours or the 2 hour gigs that some of these boneheads do. But obviously they're trying to do something else with their body, not just stay somewhat fit and somewhat healthier. So where I'm at is, I used to kind of like say, okay, I'm going to go do these 7 things. And I don't mean at the gym. I mean in my basement, pushing the floor, sit-ups, basic stuff, which is great. You can, by the way, for those of you that think you need a gym membership, you don't necessarily. You can get a few free weights, and you can do a lot of shit in your house for way cheaper. If you want to go to the gym and spend all that money, go for it. But I'm just telling you, there are ways to do it at home as well. There are free apps. I had an app. The last time I dropped 20-some pounds, I was just working off this free app. I was counting calories and working off a free exercise app, and they was just doing. And you could say you wanted to work your uppers, your legs, your mids, whatever you wanted, and it is really cool. And it does work. Counting your calories and doing some exercises, it works fast.
Sure.
But where I'm at now is more of a slower curve, a longer curve. Instead of, and then hoping to maintain. So in January, I'm doing this with my son as well. He wants to stay fit and stay active, because the kids that do this for nothing but all day, you got to keep them moving.
Sure.
So 10-minute workouts through January. We're going to go to 15 in February. We're going to hit 20 in March. Now this is every day though. Okay. But the cool thing is, see, what we were doing before was like we were picking 3 to 4 specific days a week. And then something happens where you miss a day. And then it kind of throws it all out of whack. So what my goal is to do it every single day. Like tonight's podcast tonight, I've had a few beers. I'm probably not going to go home and work out. But that's okay, because I will tomorrow, and I will the day after that, and the day after that. But if you miss a day here and there, it's okay. I think that's where I'm trying to get. Like, let's do this every day.
Yeah.
And you're spending 20 minutes. We do it in the evening. We're evening workouts. I know some people like to do it in the morning, whatever. Some people like to do it on their lunch break, whatever.
Yeah.
But we're doing it in the evening, throw on some music, fucking workout. But what I'm not doing is in my head thinking about what I'm going to work out, what I'm going to do. I literally set the fucking timer on my phone for 10 minutes right now, and then it'll be 15 in February. Then in March we're going to hit 20, and we're just going to continue to do 20 for hopefully forever. But and that seems, when you really put that into your perspective, that's nothing. 20 minutes a day, and it goes so fast. And you do feel it. It's not, and you have to work, and you extend what you're doing, and you increase things, but as you increase things, you do less things, because 20 minutes don't last that long.
Sure.
And that's where we're.
It's an eternity to some people.
Right, but that's where we're at, and that's what I'm going to try to do, and see how that works for the next.
I love it.
Next year, and hopefully forever.
We'll keep updating this as it goes.
Yeah. So, try to, and where I'm at it with this is to not have to do the calorie counting.
Yeah.
Get to the point where I always think in my head, like, it's time to stoke the engines, right? Let's stoke the fires. Let's get it going. And to where it's more of a maintain, where I'm not going to. But the other thing is, when you are on a workout plan or regiment or whatever you're doing, you end up. I mean, there's times where you'll binge and you'll eat some things that you're like, I shouldn't have done that. But for the most part, you don't feel like eating as much. Because all of a sudden it's kind of it switches in your brain a little bit where you don't want to pig out as much and whatever.
Yeah, that's one of the things I noticed when I started going to bed earlier.
Yeah,
instead of trying to stay up till 1 o'clock in the morning watching TV and shit.
Yeah.
Next thing you know, 11:30, you're like, I'm a little hungry.
That is a demon in my head.
Yeah.
As you can see the bags under my eyes, I love staying up late.
Me too. I'm a night owl.
And I it is a domino effect of sadness. Because what happens is then you're tired. And then the I don't give a fuck is real more prevalent. You know what? Like for me right now, even though they're not good for you, for breakfast I eat a Pop-Tart. Now, I said a Pop-Tart because normally I'd eat both of them that are in the pack. But, that's 400 calories. I know this. Why? Because I just know this. So, I go down to my desk working at home. I take my Pop-Tart pack with 2. I have a Ziploc already in my desk drawer. I open it up. I put the other one in there for tomorrow. And I eat the one Pop-Tart. It's 200 calories. Well, guess what? I just split my fucking breakfast in half.
Right.
It is a huge thing.
Yeah.
So even doing little things like that. So like this morning, my wife was up with me and she goes, why don't you get one of those breakfast burritos? I'm like, you know what? I probably should. Something warm for breakfast would be good. So I get one of those out. But of course, and I'm not counting calories, but I just wanted to see. So I'm opening the wrapper around and go get my spectacles on. And I'm like, 300 calories. I'm like, damn it. But but then I'm like, well, it's not 4.
Right.
But anyways, you just play these little games. But I don't know.
There's a million different things to do.
As long as you're doing something, I guess, right?
I mean, I think that it's one of our obligations to start talking about as we get older,
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not a hypochondriac, we've known them. Like, we've both dealt with different hypochondriacs.
Yeah.
The shit gets annoying. But I do think that as men, sometimes we're guilty of, something's really been hurting us or bothering us, and we just put it off and put it off and put it off. Next thing you know, you have a real fucking problem.
Yeah, I haven't really been there yet.
Yeah.
And but yeah,
I mean, I haven't either, and I hope that I'm not.
But what I haven't done, and what I have said on the show, and I said it recently, was my 2 goals this year are to get a secure primary doctor and to go get that physical and probably the 40-year-old checkup that I need to get done with the prostate and all that stuff.
Dude.
Yeah, it is what it is. I mean,
I didn't love it.
Listen,
my dude was even cool. Like, he was cool about the whole thing, and I didn't love it. There's a lot going on.
Yeah, I don't know. It's one of those things where nobody likes that shit, but it's going to be over with quick. What are you going to do?
Yeah, I don't know. Put me to sleep for it.
Bottom line is, I got to get some of this shit done just because I hear it all the time, right?
Yeah.
You're getting older. You need to get this shit checked. Yeah, you're right, but shut up.
But I'm an advocate of that. Go get a physical every year.
Right.
At the very fucking least, see where your baselines and shit are at.
Yeah.
Have an idea what you're dealing with. I think I told you, I'm going to get a heart scan. I don't have anything. My heart checks out, like all my tests and stuff. Like, I've had an EKG, but like we've talked about on the show, I know we have that my father had 4 heart attacks. And he was never a big guy. Now, he ran on 3 hours sleep and fucking 4 pots of coffee a day and cigarettes.
You don't have to be a big guy to have heart attacks.
No.
That is a stereotype.
Right, but I'm excited to go get this done, because and it's without cathing you. It's literally like an over the skin type thing, but I can't wait just to see where I'm at, get an idea. Make sure I don't have a fucking Widowmaker popping up in there.
Did you see the commercial for it's something you can buy. It's for like $70. And it's like your own personal EKG. Mm-hmm. I think everybody should. They should just give that shit out for free.
But they're in, like, if you have, I think it's iWatch 7 and higher. If you have an Apple Watch, it's in there. You just have to set it up.
That's cool.
But it just goes off your wrist.
Yeah, I don't know. I think I have to do some of that stuff, and I should anyways, because actually the last couple times I've been to the doctor for like just a cold or something. Yeah. Which was my blood pressure has been a little bit high. Yeah. So, and it's never been that way. Yeah. And I'm not really a high-strung person. Now, I do get any man's man is going to just have enough once in a while, and your blood pressure, it's going to rise because you just can't handle morons. Yeah. So, but for the most part, I'm a pretty even.
You're pretty even keel for
even keel now
for a fellow with life going on.
Now, don't get me wrong. When you get into that house and the kids are driving you crazy and the wife's in your ear, sometimes you want to smash a wall. But I'm not like that all the time. So I guess I should probably go get that checked out. High blood pressure, low blood pressure. It's not good.
Got to get you a punching bag, bro.
Yeah, I do need a punching bag.
Yeah, dude. We just got one for the boys for Christmas. So I put it together. Got it all filled up with water for the base and stuff, and.
It's not just sand?
No. I mean, you can put sand in it, but like I like it, like with the water in it.
It'd be my luck. I just bust a hole in it. The sand would be all over the floor.
I mean, this is like super hard tempered plastic. I mean, you'd have to do some work to.
It's not leather?
To put a hole in it. The top is that you hit. The base is a big old plastic base that you fill with water.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
Dude, so it came with a pair of gloves. You know, we got the boys each a set of gloves. You know, 'cause they're different colors. Nobody's fighting over who's got whose gloves.
I was
And
gonna say, what if they bypass the punching bag one day? Come on, asshole!
that's up to them.
Pooh, pooh.
You mean to me?
No, to them,
Say,
not to you, to each other.
I'll say no. Even when
I
they're
said,
older.
I said asshole, and you got confused.
I was like, not that I've never been called an asshole before. No.
Like, wait a minute,
No.
me?
But I'll tell you what. So I was taking some swings at it. You know what I mean? It's like, man, feels good.
Yeah.
You know?
I bet you that does. I mean, there's a few things in my life currently that are great for therapy, and I'm doing one of them right now.
Oh,
This
yeah.
moment.
Getting it out, man.
Working out, the podcast. I think hunting is great as well. That
the
that
isolation.
isolation. I know you like to play on the phone. Sometimes I know, sometimes you don't. But I rarely, when we're out in the woods, I know it's hours and hours, but I rarely pick up the phone unless we're like texting each other. Mostly because I don't want my hands to get cold. But so no, the isolation's cool.
Yeah.
So those are a few things that I do. But yeah, no, I think beating on something. I need to teach my son how to punch anyways.
I would tell you what, like, it's one of those things I think you take for granted. You know what I mean? Like, I learned how when I was
Like
young.
knowing how to punch?
Yeah, like actually like knowing how to throw a punch.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like I learned when I was a kid how to throw a punch. You know what I mean? You
My
know?
son has no clue.
Right.
I try to show him. I'm like, dude. And he yell at me. And I'm like, okay, it's all about, your form. I don't care what you're doing. I don't care if you're pulling a fucking curl. You have to do it. You can't have your feet wrong. He's like, what? It doesn't matter. I'm like, yes, it does. It does.
Oh, it's all about your feet and your base.
I said, you don't understand. Everything is about
The setup, the technique.
well, the technique and the fundamentals. It's all, everything is, whether you're playing football or baseball, it's all about the fundamentals, or being a drummer, whatever. You have to know your fundamentals.
Agreed, 1,000%.
I'm trying to get him there.
Yeah.
He's close.
Yeah. It's been fun teaching the boys how to throw a punch.
Yeah.
Yeah. The older one, I've actually showed him how to follow through with an elbow. He loves that. You know? Like,
You started to breathe real hard. You're like,
I
I can
love
remember, I
it,
can
dude.
remember doing that.
I love it, dude. Like, but that kind of stuff, I feel like it's imperative. But like,
I don't know if I've ever been shown how to throw an elbow.
I'll show you. It's easy. Just like throwing a punch, while you're doing it with your elbow. So if you can throw a short hook, like if you can actually like if you can step in and you can throw a short hook without swinging it like this, it's the same basic thing. But instead of finishing through with your hand, you basically come through and you finish with your elbow, dude. Fucking lights out.
Well,
Like,
yeah,
show's
I mean,
over.
if you're hitting people with your elbows, it's way harder than you, and it doesn't hurt as bad.
But like it's one of the things too, and I take this as a very serious responsibility. Like for all the joking around back and forth, it's like teaching these young fellas how to actually like grow up and be men, you know? And like I tell them things and like they laugh and then they think about it like, whoa, like I told them, it's like, it's better to be a warrior in a garden than to be a gardener in a war, you know? Like I'm going to teach you all these things. You go to school and you pick a fight, you're in fucking trouble. That's not what this is for.
Right.
This is so that you have total control of yourself, your environment, and then you have the ability to protect yourself if you need to. The ability to protect somebody else. What if you're with a girl on a date when you're 16 years old and somebody's trying to mess with her? You know what I mean? You can't be this pussy that can't do anything about it. Like, that's not ever going to work in the long run. What kind of a mate are you going to look like to set up to be for somebody else in the future? That's why all these guys in their 20s are pissed off at the whole world that don't have fucking women because they're not men. You know?
Go ahead, take her. I didn't really like her anyway.
Right. The options are they take her or you get your ass kicked and they still take her. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
To where it's like, that's why I think that it's a bigger thing, you know? And so many of these kids are like, oh, violence is the worst thing on earth. No. Sometimes violence is the only fucking answer. Sometimes that's all you have. Sometimes that's what you have to have, and you have to know how to do it to some fucking degree.
Well, and hopefully it's not the kind of violence that you can't react to, like some of these fucking morons on the fucking highway pulling guns and shooting people.
Right.
Jesus Christ.
Right.
Can't really react to that.
No, but like,
Unfortunately.
but like the one he was talking, he's like, oh, this one kid, I'd like to punch him in the face 100 times. I was like, it should never take more than about 3. The goal is to end this as fucking quickly as possible.
Aim for the jaw and drop them.
It's a straight line, dude. Your nose, your chin, and your Adam's apple. If you can hit in that fucking range, you can't see, you go to sleep, you can't breathe. Like,
Yeah, but a nice hook to the side of the jaw, they're gonna go with sleepy time.
But the jaw, the ear, the temple. If you're gonna swing a hook, yeah. So I don't know. I just feel like it's one of those things that like did you know
Did you know?
Did you know that?
By the way, my son does that to me all the time.
Yeah.
And I don't usually know. So go ahead.
That again, not advocating for the way this guy does everything. I'm just saying sometimes bad people have a good quality here and there, or like sometimes dumb people have a good idea here and there, Fucking
Where are we going?
in place of standard physical education for the last several years in Russia, the boys, they go to a boxing class, a wrestling class, a Muay Thai class, a jiu-jitsu class.
And they're probably learning way more than dodgeball.
They're learning how to murder people. And not being sarcastic, but like those guys grow up, like they're used to having hands put on them and putting hands on other people. It's not that moment of like, holy shit. You know what I mean?
Well,
like,
and
I don't know what to do.
You know what? They're probably getting a lot more out of it, and hopefully keeping their hands off maybe the women, like in I don't know. You hear some of these stories where I've watched a couple of these to kind of turn the tide a little bit here. But like where if you grow up in an abusive home, that
they have propensities there for you to be.
Right. So maybe some of these kids that are growing up in abusive homes, like these Russian kids, they're going to these classes, they're able to actually get some of this aggression out on males, and then maybe they don't want to go beat up the women. I don't know.
Right.
I'm hoping.
Yeah. Well, you know who Jordan Peterson is? I think we've talked about him a couple times on here.
You may have mentioned him, but I don't remember the name.
Yeah, he's Canadian, and like he's basically like a modern day philosopher. Does a lot of writing, like super duper smart guy. But that's one of those things that he says that a lot. He says that people are like, oh, you shouldn't be violent, you shouldn't fight. He says no. He said you should be an absolute fucking monster.
Yeah.
But then be able to control it.
Right.
Like that's always the caveat to it. Like there's nothing better than the instant karma videos where you get like some guy at a fucking Lollapalooza show with his shirt off, fucking being a fucking dick, and somebody comes out of left field and they're like, bink, and that fucking guy's on the ground now. And you're like, you fucking deserved it, man. Because those guys are still going to always exist. Mm-hmm. It's whether or not you can handle one when you fucking have to deal with one.
Correct.
Now, don't get me wrong. I feel like I've been blessed. I was the biggest kid in my class, like basically the whole way through. And the other couple of kids that were big weren't as nearly as athletic as I was, to where it's like, I haven't been picked on a lot in my whole life, but I've been in a couple situations where it's like the Ron White joke, I don't know how many it's going to take to kick my ass, but I know how many they're going to use,
Right.
Like you got to have an idea, Right. So if you got sons, teach them how to fight.
Yeah.
But teach them some discipline and respect to go with it,
Absolutely. It's like I'm tough with my son.
Yeah.
And we have a good time. Sometimes he's, he says I go too far. Dad, it hurts. I'm like, no, it doesn't. Toughen up. And it is about making them thick-skinned, and it is about them being tough.
Right.
I mean, the big bully isn't going to be like, oh, was I going too hard on you? Right?
Right.
I don't overdo it, but at the same time, I'm teaching them things that there's no off switch in the real world. So
no, I don't know. Are you like that as a dad? Do you let him win at anything?
Never,
ever. I can't do it, dude. I just can't.
And you shouldn't, because the moment, like for instance, I'll give you a quick one. Brianna's 18, and she is a lot like me. She can reproduce things like we'll say the cornhole toss.
Yeah,
she's good at that, like me, but not as good.
Yeah,
and once or twice or 3 or 4 times a year, she'll say, hey, let's get the boards out. I'm going to beat you today. She has not. But I'm going to tell you what, she's been close. Mm-hmm. We're talking, 18-7 close. And I seal the deal and beat her.
Yeah.
So one day it'll happen, but I'm never going to let her win.
Nope, you shouldn't. I've never been a fan of it.
And when she does, she'll fucking appreciate it more.
Yeah. It's ridiculous. Did you see that team up in Maine, that boys basketball team that they're considering like all these sanctions against? It's a regular old high school basketball team. This is non-recruited. This is kids from a little town with some ass-kicking coach. They're blowing everybody they play out by like 70 fucking points. And like now the state's talking about putting sanctions against them because they win too big. Like, no fucking way.
State put sanctions on them because they're good.
Right. That's a whole thing. So like in response to this, Dana White's flying the whole team to a UFC fight. Like that's what you need. You need guys that are unapologetic,
Right.
Right.
All right. Last topic.
Do it.
Even though that was a great one.
Sorry, I didn't mean to like bogart your
No, you're
quarter
good.
of
This
your show.
is actually a quick one, and we kind of touched on this last show.
Oh, our conspiracy theory of the week.
Conspiracy. Now, this isn't really conspiracy, but it could turn into one.
Okay.
Radio frequency. NASCAR uses this for their little drivers. You can actually sit in the stands and, and tune in. The NFL uses this for their quarterback helmets.
And their linebackers.
But you don't tune into that.
But you can't tune, like you and I can't tune in to hear what Mahomes is saying.
Right. MLB uses it now for the catchers and pitchers frequency.
Really?
Pitchers have a thing in their hat, and the catchers have some sort of signal producer. You didn't know this?
To where like they tap it and it tells the pitcher what
it
to
literally
throw?
speaks.
I didn't know.
And I think it speaks in the catcher's voice. Like he records it. And it'll say fastball inside or whatever.
Well, it'll be like a pitch number sequence, like slider 1-4.
Whatever it is.
Yeah.
But it's literally verbal. And I guess with the fans and stuff that no one else can hear it. I mean, if it was super quiet, maybe the guy could hear it. But for whatever reason. But my point is this. These are frequencies. And the fact I brought up the NASCAR one, it's important. Technology is accessible everywhere. And the heights of that technology, what I'm getting at is you should be able to listen in to any of these. Somebody that's smart enough can listen to the quarterback and the coach talk. Somebody that's smart enough can figure out what those frequencies are and for baseball and start cheating like the Houston Astros.
But doesn't it have to do with the transmitter? Like, aren't there like super coded transmitters for those things? Because that was the whole thing with the NFL when they tried them out at first. Was that was that like they basically, so when the NFL put these in, I remember that there was a whole thing that they showed about it to where basically it took like 4 years to do this, whether they were doing it in the preseason and then they were using them in practice to like test these things out. And that was the whole goal. Can somebody hack into this thing with a laptop and a pair of headphones?
Okay. Well, I hope it's been thought about.
Yeah.
Because I highly doubt it's been thought about that much in the MLB. Maybe it hasn't. I hope to God it is. But this is my conspiracy, is that before too long, none of this shit's even going to be a secret, and why we're using technology and using the 3 fingers in between your thighs is just probably better in the long run.
I don't disagree.
I guess where my conspiracy is, I'm not saying that it's been hacked yet, but knowing what the quarterback's going to do, even if they're still calling plays though. Silverback, red 99, 42, long, left, up the hill, down, whatever. So you have to know what that is.
Right.
So
that's like any other language. If you understand the language.
Right.
In those kind of languages, there might be little trips, little things that they change week to week, but it isn't much. You're not going to reinvent the English language that quarterback has been learning for the last 8 months. You know what I mean?
In like Mahomes for the last 7 years or 6 years, whatever it is.
Right, where they add some terminology, they take some stuff away. You know, they'll change, we're making red is now going to be au gratin. You know, whatever the fuck it is. To where that should change a little bit, yeah. No.
So my conspiracy is that this will get exploited.
Somebody will use it to cheat.
And it's going to blow up, whether it's happening now. And I still think baseball is the worst. I still do. And because these little things that they use, of course, I can't see what's in the NFL helmets. That's like the gadgets. I can't see what's in there because they're hidden. All they have is the green dot, right? But the baseball things, they take them out all the time because they fail. And sometimes they'll wave it like they're wanting a new ball and they'll be like, can't hear. And then they'll go get him another one. They have these things at the ready. And then they put it in. They're like, okay, we're good. And then they're throwing their pitch. So, once again, I don't know what's inside these things, and I'm not an expert on any of this stuff.
Yeah.
But just the quick look, it just looks like something from Radio Shack.
Really?
I don't know.
It'll keep getting better.
But whatever it does is it fits in their band.
Interesting.
Yes.
I mean, the only way to hack into that is going to be...
Well, you need the frequency. There has to be a frequency that's communicating.
But you'd almost have to have a secondary device on you as a batter to receive that frequency in real time.
Well, no. I'm not saying all you need... If you could decode it, then you could bang the trash can all day long or whatever you're using.
Yeah, I like.
You
the
can have
whole-
a screen out in center field that flashes twice for a curveball that hardly anybody can see that. I mean,
No, they pick up on it. I feel like baseball is so hypersensitive now to
Right now.
cheating that it would be difficult to pull that unless you actually have something that can tap into the system without it being detected, and that it's like if it's underneath the stirrups, you know what I mean, to where it's giving you the 3 taps on the leg.
or the buzz.
Right, that's what I'm saying. The 3 taps on the leg to let you know it's coming. You know, but like wearing it on your body, the way that they wear those suction cupped MLB uniforms, that's fucking tough, man.
Yeah, I hope I'm wrong, but that's my conspiracy for this week is the frequency. I hope it doesn't get hacked.
Well, I think we've had enough cheating for a while, so hopefully the frequency of the cheating falls off pretty soon, you know? So, if you're thinking about cheating, I love that one. Da, da, da.
What's this?
I
one?
didn't have my hat off.
No, that's something else. No, that's something else too.
I love it.
me-
Did you lose us?
No,
He doesn't
go. Ready?
No finisher.
No tweets. No. Oh, there we go. Jake hates these. All right, one more. Hey! Or this one. That's the one I wanted.
So
Okay.
fucking dumb.
Anyways, we
I
better
hate
get
that one.
We better get back to the regular show.
I thought you
All
were
right,
looking for the finisher.
Let's finish it.
Let's do it. All right, so if you're thinking about cheating or making those fucking sounds on somebody else's fucking show, it clearly shows that you're dealing with some kind of mental pain going on there. So I'm just trying to riff into this whole thing. So if you're actually struggling with something in your mental health, please pick up the phone. Call 1-800-662-4357. That is a National Mental Health Awareness Hotline. Somebody will be on the other end.
Absolutely. So if you're having bad thoughts about hurting yourself or others, or just can't kick that substance abuse, give them a call. Someone will be there to help you.
Boom. Thanks for joining us. Talk to you guys again real soon.
Pip, pip.
Cheerio.
Woo!